Hi guys, it's Thomas here from COTbase.com. Welcome to our weekly COT review. Today we're going to be analyzing the 32nd Commitments of Traders report of 2021, and as we always do, we shall start off by looking at the largest changes in commercials positions. Before I jump into the review, a reminder for anybody who is new to this data, this analysis service, we have a ton of educational material here at COTbase.com explaining to you what kind of signals there are. We also have very useful videos as well that will educate you to better understand what the report is all about and how you can actually use it in your trading, your investment strategy. So a lot of useful material here that will help you start off using this wonderful data. Looking at this recent report and starting off our review with crude oil, where we had that 47% change in commercials positions. You can see commercials on the left side of this table, large speculators in the middle, and then small speculators on the right side. So visually, you can understand that change magnitude by looking at the COT charts. Of course, commercials are in red, large speculators in green, and small speculators on a different scale chart in blue over here. So that's the change we witnessed, this 47% change, comparing it on a 52 weeks or 52 report look back period. It is one of the largest changes, so that's exciting. It is a bullish COT change signal that suggests we may see a bit of a rise early next week. Now, I should point out we had a significant bearish COT change signal just a week ago. Of course, the report is always showing you a situation from Tuesday, but it's published on a Friday. So that was actually something that was a little bit late for us to act upon. The move already happened. And in the case of this bullish COT change signal, I don't really see that much of a rally happening. So I think we still have time to act on this change signal and expect a bit of a rise early next week if you're the guy who wants to trade in a more shorter time period. Moving on to the next market, precious metals. Silver, 33% change over there in commercials positions, 36 in large speculators, pretty large changes, definitely much greater than average, suggesting some strength early next week. Wouldn't be that surprising after this decline, a little bit of rebound. At least traders positioning themselves suggest that's going to be the case. Now, if we move on to the 5 years chart, you can see that we are actually a little bit closer to bullish extreme levels. I mean, especially if we just look back about, let's say, 2.5 years. A bearish extreme of, let's say, 125,000 contracts net short for commercials and about 90,000 contracts net long for large speculators would be something that is a more bearish extreme, but that's not the case. We moved away from those levels since February of 2020, and we're not at those all-time or close to all-time bullish levels, but still it's something worth mentioning. Definitely we have both of our major signals pointing upwards in the case of silver. Now, shouldn't be too much of a surprise to anybody who trades precious metals to see a very similar picture in gold. Here we have a 31% change in commercials positions. You can see that magnitude over there being larger than average. And we already have seen a bit of a rise, definitely a more clear rise compared to silver. So this signal suggests we may see this continuation over the next couple of days. We'll see about that, but opening the 5 years chart, again, you get the chance to analyze the extreme situation. So yeah, we've moved away from those bearish extreme levels. I wouldn't say it's like a huge bullish extreme. Definitely not. If we'd be analyzing a 1 to 3 year look back period COT index, it's definitely a more positive extreme picture. But on this 5 years time frame, you can see that we're more or less in between the two major extremes. So we had that beautiful bullish extreme that was present in the market for a couple of weeks, month in 2018, just coinciding with this bottom in the market. So you can see, generally speaking, these extreme signals are very, very effective in most markets, and I think that's the case for gold as well. So yeah, we moved away from those bearish extreme levels. Definitely not a very specific extreme signal, but it does suggest we should be able to see in the medium to long horizon much higher prices coming. So moving on to large speculators, COT Extreme, we've got cotton on top of our list with 156 report extreme in large speculators. So large speculators are roughly 100,000 contracts net long at the moment. Commercials a bit over 100, like 110,000 contracts net short. Of course, if you subtract the two, you'll pretty much receive small speculators positioning themselves at 12,000 contracts net long. So that is a bearish COT Extreme. There's no question about that. This has started off with traders at their most, or pretty bullish extreme level back in March of 2020, just after that bottom happened, of course. And since the market has been rallying, we've been seeing a shift in traders' positions toward the bearish side of their capabilities. Of course, this 5 years chart shows you that there's definitely some space left to reach even greater bearish extreme. So that's just something you should, be cautious about because even though we have that extreme in the market, doesn't mean that we're going to suddenly see a shift in the major trend. This can continue on. Stress levels can even build up to higher levels before we reach that top. Another energy for the review, heating oil. We have a 145 report extreme over here. Again, this is a bearish COT extreme, but there's definitely space left for traders to increase their net positions in the direction that we see them right now. And then last but not least, platinum is going to be our last market for the review. 110 report extreme over there. Definitely a more bullish picture than what we saw in silver and gold. So yeah, generally speaking, throughout the metals complex, we can see a more bullish picture. So that might be something of a good news for those of you out there who are positioning themselves on the long side of these metal markets. So that's very interesting to see. Now, of course, in these weekly reviews, we show only a brief picture, just a few markets. We're not actually analyzing all available market categories like grain, stock indexes, interest rates, and cryptocurrencies are left out. But you can definitely analyze those if you subscribe to COTBase.com. You can actually have access to everything CFTC publishes, all the COT report types that are available, the futures only, futures and options data type, and actually we constructed the options only data, which I think is pretty unique and cool for those of you who really want to understand what the different kind of traders are doing there. Of course, hedgers out there who might be using options as a way of taking on positions, hedge or speculative positions for that matter. You can analyze all sorts of data sets. You can dig deep into your analysis by analyzing COT index, the COT move index. We've got a very useful long-term trend indicator. We also added the volume and open interest analysis to our features. We believe it has a very good supplemental tool effect in COT analysis. If you're somebody who trades a specific market, let's say the Australian dollar, you can definitely choose the Australian dollar and then start digging deep into the data provided on this market. So there's so much to do here to really dig deep. And of course, all these are chartable. So if you want to have a look at the charts themselves, large speculators long, you can definitely do that. And you can, of course, let's say you're interested in futures and options, you can take the rest off and there you go. You can look at any time horizon. You can download the charts if you wanted to. You can actually even download specific data sets if you wanted to. And we have some very useful indicators as well. So if you want to use our tool sets in NinjaTrader, you can definitely check out the COT Base Pro indicator, offering everything that the premium access has to offer, but you can actually do the detailed setting in NinjaTrader. We have the ICOT intraday indicator, which I believe is something that everybody who's been analyzing the commitments of traders data was looking forward to really see the COT information in a more shorter time frame. And that's what we tried to achieve after multiple years of investigating the data and developing our software. So that's something really, really useful. It's not data coming from CFTC, I should point that out, but it is our own data that we constructed and mimics the COT charts. If you look at our example charts, you can definitely see something really unique, but this is a much shorter time frame, of course, with some very, very useful signaling tools for you to help you. So there's a lot to do here at COT Base concerning commitments of traders' data. I hope you will give it a try and check it out. I appreciate your attention. Thank you very much for being with me, and I hope to see you next time. Take care. Goodbye.